Goodness me, I tell you. Hit that music, stop playing on my ear. How's everybody doing tonight? So, I got a new computer. And it has caused all kinds of issues. So, hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. If you can't hear me, you probably can't hear me telling you this. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Hope everybody's ready for weekend coming, I guess, tomorrow night. Don't know when everybody starts their weekend. But here we are. I only have 2 monitors to work with now instead of 3, so I'm still trying to set everything up a little bit here. The phone is not hooked up. So even though there's a number right there, it doesn't work right now because I haven't installed everything I need. And yes, it is Windows, of course. Jennifer, Windows 10. I've been using Windows 7 for years. My wife bought me a new computer, so I've been working on that. It's a brand new one. And so I needed to update. I had a lot of problems with the old one, lots of hiccups. A lot of the reasons I was late a lot of times is because I was having hiccups with the computer, and here I am late tonight. Hiccups with this one, as I hiccup myself. So if you'll bear with me just a minute, I'm actually going to go live on TikTok as well tonight. You must be over 16. This is the first time I've ever done this. You must be over 16 years old to access live. I am. So, hopefully, I can talk to more people than just you guys tonight. So I'm going to try to address both audiences, unless I just can't, unless I lose my mind. Can't handle more than a bunch of people. But anyway, good evening, everybody. Don't know if anybody's on TikTok or not, but I'm here live. For those that don't know, I do live streams every Thursday night on YouTube. And this is the first time I've ever streamed live on TikTok, but I do your own pest control. I try to help people. I've been in pest control field for over 30 years, and so I come online. I help people with their bed bugs, cockroaches, fleas, silverfish, whatever, mice, rats, all kinds of problems. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Usually what I do is when people ask me a question in chat, because I always save my VODs for YouTube to upload later. So people will say things, they'll ask questions. I usually repeat the question and I put it live. So if you are on TikTok and you're wanting to follow me, my link is in my bio. You can go and you can jump on my YouTube channel. You can see the chat yourself. You can ask questions in chat, or you can ask questions on TikTok. I'll repeat the question so everyone in YouTube can hear you. So hope everybody's having a good night. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend, and let's see how we can do this tonight. I'm going to try my best, losing my mind, and see if I can't help some people out with their bug problems. So, anybody have any questions? Normally, let's see if I can get Skype. This computer is brand new. I just got it, let's see, 3 days ago. Downloaded everything I needed, kind of, sort of. So I'm trying to work with what I've got here so I can do everything that I always do with everybody, trying to help everybody out with their bug problems. I did have a question that I wanted to go over. Let me see if I can download Skype, because if anybody does want to actually call in and ask questions, I want them to be able to do it, because the number's there. So people are going to, of course, try to call, and they're not going to be able to get through because I don't have the app installed. But so let's see what we've got here. I did have questions over on Facebook. If I can get it to work. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I can't handle that. That's too much. Can you use, so let's see, Nick says, can you use Nuvan Pro strips in my car? Do they kill bed bugs? Nuvan strips do kill bed bugs. The problem with Nuvan strips, so what he's talking about, let's share a screen here and I'll show you guys what he's talking about. So That worked. I was nervous. I didn't know if that was going to work or not. So let's go to New Van Pest Strips. So the problem with New Van Pest Strips is they are toxic to breathe. So they produce a toxic gas, which back when, long time ago, years and years and years ago, we called it Vapona. It was a chemical you could mix that would produce a toxic gas and would kill bugs, like all kinds of different bugs. And now they put it into these little pest strips that you hang up, like you see here. What you do is you take your little blue, it's a little blue strip, typically blue, and you can sometimes trim them and slip them in. Sometimes they come pre-trimmed, and you put them in these little hangers, and you hang them up in your closets, in your chest of drawers, somewhere like that, and you put them in order to kill bed bugs in your furnishings and your belongings in your rooms. You can put them in your closet and close off your closet. It kills moths and things like that. The reason I don't recommend these is because they do produce a toxic gas that is toxic to human beings. And the whole point of pest control and the whole point of my channel is I try to provide people with honest, safe advice that you're not going to hurt yourself, you're not going to hurt your children, you're not going to hurt your pets. If for some reason a New Van strip gets left behind and you go in and sleep in your bedroom, and say you have 2 or 3 of these things hanging on the bottom of your bed, they can cause damage to you. It can hurt you, it can harm you, and it can cause health problems for you. And so we're trying to avoid that with like I said, with what I do here. I don't want people to do anything that's going to hurt themselves. Now, you can treat your automobile with Crossfire. Crossfire is what I recommend for pest control. That's what I use. That's what I use in my business every day. I used it today. I did a bed bug job today, just maybe 5-6 hours ago. I was actually treating a house for bed bugs. I use Crossfire. And Crossfire, if you go to my Amazon page and you go here to the bed bug supplies right here, it's the very first thing right there that you see in the list, because that's what I recommend. Someone on TikTok, let's see, Susan Wilkes, says that they bought Crossfire, used it, and it worked exactly the way that they had done. So people actually have been following me from TikTok to YouTube and YouTube to TikTok, so that it worked for them. So hopefully, I mean, honestly, so here's one of the things about Crossfire that people need to understand, is that Crossfire is a non-repellent pesticide. And to people that don't understand the difference, so you have 2 different types of chemicals in pest control. You have repellents and you have non-repellents. A non-repellent pesticide is a chemical that the bugs do not see as, and not all non-repellents work on the same bugs. Some non-repellents are repellents to some bugs, yet non-repellent to others. Crossfire is a non-repellent pesticide for bed bugs. So when you treat your mattress, your box spring, your sofas, your furniture, the bed bugs don't see the chemical as being there. It's as if it doesn't exist. They still see you as the host. They want to come after you. They want to come and bite you. And so when they come out to bite you, they crawl across the treated surface. The residual lasts for 30 days. And so as they crawl across to get to you, they die. So that's the purpose. That's the point of Crossfire. It's very effective because as of 2021, they're not really immune to it. They're not showing any real resistance, at least in my business. I mean, I've had people claim that there's some resistance to Crossfire, but I have not seen it yet. I've not noticed any resistance to Crossfire whatsoever. And so I continue to use it. Now, for some reason, if Crossfire ceases to work and it stops working as effectively, then of course I will tell you what I'm using. I will tell you what works, and I have no problem sharing all the information, because it's not just about bed bugs. I know the name of my show is a bed bug show, and that's what I call it, because that seems like that's what people know me for. But I don't just kill bed bugs. I mean, if you go, I've got hornets, I've got bed bugs for New York and Canada, I've got tick control, ant control, stink bugs, spiders, lice, carpenter bees, which I don't kill lice. That's just because people ask me what to use. Carpenter bees, bird mites, springtails, cockroaches, mouse rot, all kinds of things here. And not only that, but on my channel that's available for you. So if you're here and you're new, my channel is youtube.com/Green Akers, which is spelled Akers PC. And that's my YouTube channel. So this is my channel. And if you're new, go and subscribe. click the subscribe button, like the video, and so that you can click the notification bell and all that good stuff, so you know when I'm going live and you know when you can come on and answer me questions. Now, normally, I am able to take phone calls. So I do phone call-ins. People can call in. In fact, last weekend I had 3 different people call in and ask questions over a period of about an hour and a half. And I love to answer questions. I'm here, for pick my brain. I've been doing pest control for 33 years of my life. I started when I was 6 years old with termites and mice and rats and going into crawl spaces and all kinds of stuff like that because I was little and I could fit into tight places. So here I am, 39 years old, still doing pest control, and any kind of information you need, anything at all, I'm here to... Let's see, what is this? So anyway, I'm not doing anything on TikTok. I'm not ready for that. I'm new to this. I'm just going to sit here and talk. So, somebody tried to duet me and go live with me, and I don't really know how that works. So I am sorry. I am a noob to TikTok. I'm just streaming live tonight as a test run to see how things go. And if it's something that you guys like, then I have no problem doing this whenever I go live, which is Thursday nights after 9 o'clock Eastern time. So my kids, I'm a father of 3, soon to be 4, and when the kids go to bed, I get online and I talk to everybody and answer questions. So let's see. We've got Jennifer says, I saw a video where a barn was being demolished. A flock of bats came out, and I thought of you. Oh, that's wonderful. So I am Batman. Just started. Oh, no, you didn't miss much stealth. I've only been here just a couple of minutes. It's been a trying time tonight. I turned my camera on. I went, well, what happened? So I got a new computer a couple nights ago, and I went download everything, had my Streamlabs working. Everything was great, ready to stream, had everything uploaded, everything, the whole setup and everything going, ready to go. Camera worked and everything. And then I went to upload it tonight, get ready, 10 o'clock, and nothing worked. And so my camera wouldn't work. I had TikTok ready to go so I could talk to you guys on TikTok, and nothing worked. So it was a pain. But I finally got it working. Got all my drivers fixed. It's Windows 10. It's a beautiful, lovely, wonderful operating system that sucks. So, Finch says, excellent info and videos dealing with the situations. Awesome, you're showing the way, man. I looked like a zombie. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know how many people are going to show up tonight. I know I'm really late. It's almost 11 o'clock. Usually about 11:30, people start, clicking off of the video, and they usually don't stick around. I've got 9 viewers now on YouTube, so I don't know how long I'm going to stream tonight because I am so late. I do have to get up early in the morning to work. But like I said, I'm here now. Hopefully we can, get some questions answered that you may have about pest control. So, and like I said, if you're on TikTok and you're watching too, you have, everybody, does anybody else to ask me any question that you want, and I will try my best to answer your question. This is all completely off the cuff, whatever you have, whatever. If I can answer it, I will answer it. So, like I said, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell when it comes up, because after you click subscribe, it'll be a little gray bell that shows up right there. Click that bell, because that's how you get notified that I am actually live or that I've uploaded a video. So typically my upload schedule is Tuesdays. I have a video that usually uploads at 6 a.m. on Tuesday mornings, and then that goes for a couple days, and then Thursday at night I will live stream, and so that I can answer any questions that you guys have. So let me see if I can get see, it doesn't show hardly anything. That's actually pretty good. Oh, Skype downloaded, so let's see if I can get that working. Look at all this stuff that comes up. Look at that, bed bugs. Oh, wow. Kinds of stuff showing up over there. Is that actually a picture that I have? Let me see. Where is that picture? Background. And it showed that picture of that bed bugs. That looked pretty good. Oh, and for those that don't know, for those on TikTok, where are my bed bugs? I actually have bed bugs here. There they are. Let's open that up. For those that have never seen bed bugs. And for YouTube, I'll go ahead and show you. Of course, YouTube, they see my bed bugs all the time because I always show them on camera. This is what we call a feeder tube. The way this works is it's got a screen in the top like this. And what you do is when the bed bugs are hungry and they need to feed, which is, typically a blood meal is needed in order to reproduce once every 8 weeks. And an adult bed bug needs to feed at least once every 12 to 18 months to live. A nymph needs to feed about once every 2 to 4 months to survive. And so what you do is if you have bed bugs in one of these little feeder tubes, you have the screen and you can take it, you can hold it right here like this. And the bed bugs, of course, they crawl over top of that screen and they bite you. And that's how they survive. So that's what this is, for those that don't know. And I keep them in here, and I keep them in a baggie because, they can't get out, but my wife, she gets mad at me if I leave them out. My son, my 2-year-old, has learned to work his fingers like that, and then so he took the lid off. But yes, so Susan says declutter is very important with bed bugs. That's true. She's talking from TikTok. Let's see. So what is your phone number? Do you have an 800 number? Gross, I hate seeing those dang bugs. Yeah, I do have a Skype number. The Skype number is not available right now because I don't have it installed. I forgot to install Skype. So I don't really have a way to contact me right now. Let me turn this off here. So if I end up accidentally, I don't want to accidentally show a password or anything like that. But that is my phone number for those interested. I am going to try to get logged on to Skype right now so you guys can call. Let me see. What is my... Trying to get logged in for you. Alrighty, there we go. Skype is up, phone lines are open. Hopefully it'll work. If you want to call me, you're welcome to call me and ask any question that you want on the phone. Now, when you call, everyone will accept TikTok. You guys aren't going to hear it. I'll hear it right here, and they'll hear it over here in YouTube. So if anybody calls and you have a question, TikTok won't hear the answer. TikTok won't hear the question. They'll hear the answer, but they won't hear the question. I will try to form it the best way I can without repeating too much, because YouTube over here, they hear the question. So if anybody does call the number, Stealth Woman might want to call. If you call, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to repeat the question if someone's asking me live on the air. So J.A. Finch says, my mom just had bed bugs and her apartment dealt with seemed to start after they replaced the roof. First, my sister then sprayed with Home Defense insect killer. Then the techs, or at least the first one, used 2 transports. So did you have ants or did you have bed bugs? Because you said ants at first, but you said bed bugs at first, and then you said ants. So it said the last inspector noted crossfire is used by some, transport by others. The second tech wouldn't tell me what he was using. The inspector noted they used a dust, guessing Semexa. Actually, Alpine dust works for bed bugs too. That's what I would recommend, more so even than Semexa, but you have to put it like in wall voids, outlets, and places where people aren't going to be in contact with it, because you don't want people to come into contact with the insecticide dust, or even Semexa or DE. You don't want to come into contact with that. I don't recommend using it because it puffs out everywhere and it gets in your face and you can't really get away from it. And you don't want to breathe it in. If you're going to use a dust, you need to use a respirator. Alicia says, I'm so frustrated. 3 times sprayed crossfire. I thought today I was going to tell you I finally got rid of the bed bugs after a month and 3 weeks. I got a bite again. I sprayed this week. So usually if you have bed bug bites after a month, you haven't had any bites for over a month, and you start getting bit again, it's usually because the bed bugs have come from somewhere or someone. And you may not know who is bringing them into your house. You may not know how it's happening, but it is. The general consensus, and any exterminators in chat tonight, which a lot of exterminators do watch my show live, any exterminators in chat tonight can probably, back me up on this. But typically, bed bugs, what we tell our customers is if the bed bugs are gone and you haven't had any bites within 30 days, usually that means it's a reinfested problem. So you've gone somewhere or you've done something that has caused the bed bugs to get back in the house again. So if that's happening, I mean, it's very possible. So one way it's happened before is I've had customers that have gone out and they've had maybe estranged, spouse, they may be going through a divorce or a separation, and the children are going back and forth between the homes. And so they will pick up the bed bugs on, say, their backpacks, or maybe the automobile that they're using to transport themselves back and forth in have bed bugs in the car. And so there's always a chance that when the kid gets out of the car, they bring a bed bug with them. Or even you, if you infest your own automobile, you could bring bed bugs in and out of your trunk into your car. In fact, during the 2020 and all that happened during that, a lot of people were going out and picking up bed bugs from these people like Instacarts and places that were going out and doing all these deliveries. But you got to realize they're doing these deliveries in their personal vehicle, bringing bed bugs in and out of people's homes from their personal vehicle. The same car that they use to maybe move their friends or, go and get things from the store. So it's, if you're continuing to have problems, a month or more into the future, meaning you haven't been bit at all, a month and a half almost goes by, and then you get bit, usually that's because the bed bugs are reinfesting. It's usually a sign that you're bringing them in from somewhere else. And you may, like I said, it could drive you crazy trying to figure it out, but sometimes it's easier to just go about, if you just do a preventative treatment once a month. And you don't have to use Crossfire. You could use something like, Alpine WSG as a preventative. And if the bed bugs do return, then you could turn around and use Crossfire. But I would recommend doing a preventative with at least Alpine WSG because it's cheaper. The reason I say you could use that is because it's cheaper than Crossfire per volume. You can mix way more gallons of Crossfire for less money not Crossfire, I'm sorry. You can mix more gallons of Alpine for less money than what you would mix, a gallon or two of Crossfire. So it's just something you can kind of have on hand as an arsenal if you're continuing to have problems with bed bugs. I have a customer, or a friend, I should say, a friend of mine that works in medical, and what he does is he goes around and he transports medical devices and stuff in and out of people's homes. He'll take like a CPAP machine and set it up, or an oxygen machine and set it up. And when he's doing these things, he's going right in people's bedroom. And he will sometimes pick up, some of these houses are totally infested with bed bugs. And so he will pick them up on his shoes, maybe a shoelace, one might crawl up on a shoelace or something. And then he tracks them out of the house into his car, and then there they are in his car. So that's a common thing. People do have that happen, in and out of their car. So I usually recommend people do treat their car. So it sometimes helps. In fact, most of the people that I treat for bed bugs, I will treat their car first. And they'll kind of hang out at the house while I'm doing the house. The car is usually dry when I'm done. They can take the car and leave so that, the car is treated. So then everything is treated all at once. If you're doing this on your own, you can treat your car one day, don't go anywhere, like wait 3 or 4 hours, and then you can treat your house towards the end of the day. So treat your car in the morning, then treat your house in the afternoon, leave, go get some dinner or something, come back, and then everything is treated. That way you could get the whole thing treated in one day, and you don't have to worry that maybe you have some in your car, or maybe you have some, do every room in the house. Don't skip rooms. Do your living room. Do, even guest rooms that people may not be sleeping in. You need to go in there. You need to treat those beds too. Stealth Woman said, someone said Cemexa had diatomaceous earth in it. That's not true. That Hot Shot has some ingredients as Crossfire. That is true. But the problem with Hot Shot and Harris Gold Label is because of the, well, all right. So if you mix pesticide, like right now, you mix it up and you use it, it's at the strongest concentration. It's the freshest ingredients, fresh ingredients, fresh pizza, Papa John's. No, if it's fresh, it's going to work better. It's going to be stronger. It's going to be more potent, and it's going to work better. So let's say you mix up a gallon of Crossfire, and then you let it sit on the shelf at Walmart in a Harris bottle for 4 or 5 months. And then somebody comes in there and says, oh, okay, I'm going to buy that now and go kill some bed bugs with it. What do you think is going to be more effective? The Crossfire you mix by hand or the Crossfire you buy in a bottle that was mixed who knows how long ago? The Crossfire that's mixed by hand is going to last longer. It's going to do better. It's going to be more effective. And so, and the same with aerosols. One of the problems with aerosols is that aerosols are in a compressed can, and usually the propellants they put in the can to actually cause the chemical to come out and spray out is, it causes the pesticide to break down faster. So your pesticide is not going to last as long. Crossfire has a 30-day residual, and how much of that residual are you giving up by using a premix like, Harris or a premix, aerosol? What are you giving up in that 30-day time? Are you going to have to treat once a month? Are you going to have to treat once a week? That's the difference in buying a premix like Harris or, the Hot Shot aerosol cans. Now, I will admit, having the Hot Shot aerosol is not a bad thing to have if you're wanting something intermittently. So let's say you treat your bedroom with Crossfire, and then you give it a couple weeks, but you want kind of like to refresh a couple of areas. You're still going to have the Crossfire residual there, and all you're doing is spraying Crossfire on top of Crossfire, and you're going to have a stronger residue in a couple of spots where you know that the bed bugs are really bad. That's not necessarily a bad idea, and then you don't have to go and mix a whole nother gallon of Crossfire. You could just use a spray bottle with the Crossfire in it. So that's one tool, one reason that it would be a valid tool to use, and the aerosol. But I really honestly wouldn't use aerosol as the solution. That's not really the solution. But Cemexa does not have diatomaceous earth. Cemexa silica dioxide, which is a dust, well, it's similar. It's similar to diatomaceous earth. But diatomaceous earth, what sets it apart from silica dioxide is that it has diatoms in it, which are crustaceans. So let's see, we got a call. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Can I help you? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, how are you? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you not hear me? They couldn't hear me. I'm wondering if this is going to be a problem with this computer. I hope not. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Trial and error tonight. It is a pain in the butt trying to deal with a new computer and getting everything set up to where it works. You guys could hear her, correct? Let's see. Well, let's get back to what everybody was saying. That's annoying to me, but let's see. I've had to spray the car when I had fleas. I sprayed again, and even my house prior to heading to my mom's work and help her out. Did more laundry and spent more than I ever have. I've got wasp, hornets, yellow jackets in the attic. I found a few days back, got a can of Ortho wasp hornet spray for the first nest soaking when I found it, hoping they're not in the walls or behind the bricks. Let's see, Stealthwoman said, do you know if local pest control companies sell Crossfire to the public? Some pest control companies do, but not everybody. The problem with selling pesticides to the public is that you have to cover the sales tax and all that crap, and it's easier to just buy things like that through Amazon. That's how I usually recommend people buy. So if you go to my Amazon page, which is right there, it's amazon.com/shop/Green Acres Pest Control LLC, and you can get it there. There it is right there. So that's what, in fact, let me see if I can shrink this window down, because I did that last week and I think it helped a lot. So anyway, that's where, I recommend you go. It supports the channel too. I get like a 3% cut commission if you buy from that shop. Let's see. Labels, if you read them, not mixed, used within 24 hours. Let's see. Allison Moore, I can't access Crossfire in Oz, which is, I guess, Australia. Would Copex residual insecticide 250? Well, permethrin is not going to be as effective on bed bugs as Crossfire, because permethrin is a synthetic pyrethroid, and most synthetic pyrethroids bed bugs have developed an immunity to. Now, maybe not in Australia, so you might try it and see. Let me know if it works, because in the US, we have what are called pyrethroid-resistant bed bugs. So if you go and you look at the label of Crossfire, let's actually pull that real quick. Let's go to Crossfire, pesticide, label, and I'll show you. And just in case you're just tuning in on, well, nobody's on TikTok. I think one person's on TikTok right now. But if you follow me on YouTube, you're going to get a lot more out of this live stream, and you're going to be here with everybody else. So anyway, so let's go to do my own, and let's look at the label. So the problem with Crossfire, so if you look, it doesn't say it here. Okay, here we go. Kills bed bugs and bed bug eggs. Specifically formulated to kill pyrethroid-resistant and or field and or wild bedbug strains. So, pyrethroid-resistant, a permethrin is a pyrethroid. It's a synthetic pyrethroid. So, the reason that Crossfire was invented is to deal with pyrethroid-resistant strains of bedbug. So, if you are having problems with when bed bugs not dying to pyrethroids, then you would need to use Crossfire or something similar to Crossfire to get rid of your bed bug problem. Something maybe like Temperate or Crossfire, or if you have access to Apprehend, which most people don't. Apprehend is something you usually have to hire somebody, because the only people they usually sell it to are people like me who are licensed. So, what do you recommend to control rats in the attic? I have traps with peanut butter up there, but they haven't touched the traps. It's been about a month. So, if you're having problems with rats, I do have a, let's see, if I go to videos or playlists, you go to playlists, there's actually a Mouse Monday right here on my playlist. Let me click this, and I'll share it with you.
You would think a pan is a pan until made in.
Let's see, let me share the playlist with you. But this is my Mouse Monday series, where I go over how to get rid of rats and mice. And so I recommend going and just watching that. But just to answer your question real quick, what I recommend for the control of mice, I usually use Talon Talon Weather Block. That's what I use to control mice. That's the rodent or rats. That's what I use as rat poison. You can also, if you're having a problem with them taking the bait from the trap, sometimes you can actually tie a piece of insulation, like a piece of the pink fluffy type insulation, to the end of the trap. Tie it on with like a piece of dental floss or fishing line, and that will give the rat or the mouse something to grab and pull, because they're like, oh wow, I can use that, I can nest with that, I can take and build a nest with that. I want that, I need that. And so they'll actually be more drawn to a nesting material, sometimes even than food, because sometimes the mice and the rats are actually coming in not for food. A lot of people believe they come in for things like food and water, and they do. But sometimes they just want something to build a nest out of. And so if you tie that nesting material to the trap, then they will go to try to grab that and they'll pull on it and it'll snap them and get them. So if you're having a problem with snap traps, you can try that. It does help. It does work. I have used it on problem areas where the rats and the mice would not go in the trap, and it absolutely does work. So give that a shot. Let's see. So let's scroll back up because, boy, you guys are really giving me a lot of questions. Okay. So someone did say they heard the caller, but the caller evidently could not hear me. Do you have any videos showing how to treat chairs and sofas? I do have videos on how to treat chairs and sofas. So I don't have videos teaching how to treat chairs and sofas specifically, but I have a video doing a bedbug job. It's called The Most Extensive Bedbug Job on YouTube. And so I will search that real quick. The most EXTENSIVE extensive bed bug. Let's just try that on YouTube. Oh, there it is. I mean on Google. There it is right there. There's my video. So this video, if you go into like, let's see, there's a sofa at about 5 minutes in, I treat a sofa, and about 8 minutes in, I treat a sectional. So that should help you. The sofa I treat is an actual recliner sofa. So it's basically the same exact way to get rid of the bed bugs in a recliner as it is a recliner sofa. They're made the same. So that should answer your question. It should help you anyway if you watch that video. I did that video February of 2018. Crazy how long ago it's been since I did that one. But yeah, I actually went into the guy's a retired vet, and I decided to go in and help the guy pro bono, and he let me film the job as long as I didn't put any pictures of his picture frames or anything like that. I was allowed to film the bedbug job, and so I've been using it as a reference material for evidently 3 years to try to help people understand how to actually do a bedbug job the right way, how to actually get rid of bedbugs the right way. So what's your advice for hornets, yellow jackets, wasps in the attic or the walls? And here's a call. Let's see if this works this time. Hello, this is Jason with Green Acres Pest Control. Can I help you?
Hey, Jason. My name is Natalie. I can't hear anything you're saying, by the way, but I'm watching your live video on YouTube. And I hope you can hear me right now, by the way. Like I said, I can't hear you at all. I'm just talking by myself right now. Anyway.
There, how's that?
I don't know. Oh, hello?
I got it.
Can you hear me?
I fixed it. Technical support. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to ask something. Like, I watched so many of your videos, and they're great. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you for all the help that you're giving us. Like me, like, there's no way I can, like, afford, like, a Terminator. Those are, like, super, super expensive.
Right.
Versus the Crossfire, I can definitely spend $50 for that.
Right.
So thank you for that. And, the thing is, my problem is that I don't have, like, what do you call it, like a gallon, like a sprayer gallon. Okay. And I think I can only get this online, but I really don't want to wait for 3 to 5 business days to get it.
So are you having a problem actually getting a gallon sprayer, like something to mix the Crossfire in?
Yeah, because I want it right away. So I've been trying to go to the stores, but I just don't find it. Because I have the Crossfire. I just need to mix it.
You just need to go to if you go to a store's garden center, like a Walmart or Target. I mean, Target doesn't really have a garden center, but like a Walmart or a Home Depot or a Lowe's, that's the place you want to go look for your plastic garden sprayer.
Okay, because it has to be a gallon.
Yeah, to mix 13 ounces it does, yes. Because what it is, to make a gallon, so the way that you mix Crossfire is you fill the gallon container half full of water, you pour your Crossfire in, and then you fill it the rest of the way to equal a gallon. So a 13-ounce bottle of Crossfire mixes 1 gallon of finished solution. So you need to have at least a gallon sprayer. But you can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them at, Home Depot, Lowe's. All those places typically have a gallon sprayer. They use them to mix Roundup and stuff like that in.
Okay, because I was just wondering if I were to like put in like a bottle sprayer, like it wouldn't work that way. Like I
It's
mean,
not going to be easy. It's not going to be you're not going to be effective at mixing it. That's the problem. If you try to
okay,
use like
so
a
it's
spray
not.
bottle, like a little bleach hand bottle or something like that, you're
Hmm.
not going to get the mix ratio is going to be off and it's not going to be effective.
Okay, so even if I do that, or I get like,
Well, see, the problem is that you're either going to overmix or you're going to undermix. And the issue with pesticides is it's like chemistry. You have to have the right amount of active ingredient to the right amount of inactive ingredient in order to equal your total mixed solution. So when you're mixing 13 ounces of Crossfire, so 128 ounces is what's in a gallon. So it's 128 ounces, which is 150 but 115 ounces of water plus 13 ounces of Crossfire equals 128 ounces of finished solution, which is 1 gallon. So you'll have 1 gallon of finished Crossfire solution. That is what you need. That's the right mix. Now, you can mix less if you do 6.5 ounces and 57 ounces of water. That's going to be half of what a gallon would equal. I mean, 57, I think.
okay,
I'd have to do the math. I need to pull
uh-huh.
out my calculator and I can do the math. I
Yeah,
just tried to do that with just out of memory.
yeah,
But you get the
right.
idea. It's not that easy to mix it. And the bottle, the problem I have now, I actually contacted MGK a couple of weeks ago and I said, look, I talk about Crossfire on my streams all the time. All the time, every day. I mention them all the time. I love the product. I think it's a great product. But the problem I have is that the 13-ounce bottle has no way to break it up into any smaller quantities. And I said, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be much. They just changed their whole bottle design for the gallon, and they have it to where you can actually pour it, and it fills exactly 13 ounces. So you could do a 13 ounce to mix a gallon, and it's really convenient. And I'm like, well, why can't you put like a graduation bar down the side of a Crossfire bottle like you do on a bottle of motor oil, so you can kind of tip it and you can say, oh, yep, that's how much I need. That's all you would need. It would make
Right.
it so easy for the customer that doesn't want to mix a whole gallon, because the honest truth is that I can do a 7-bedroom house with a half a gallon of mixed Crossfire. You don't need to
Wow.
use an entire 13-ounce bottle on a one-time. In fact, people ask me all the time in chat. They usually will ask me at least once a week. I get a question like, what do I do with all this leftover Crossfire? I didn't use the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah, because that
well,
was going to be like, that's the thing I'm like trying to avoid, because like you mentioned in other videos, like I think after 24 hours the product goes bad, right?
right. Right. Now
So
I've
like I'm
had
gonna
people
be wasting a lot of it.
so I'll be honest with you. I can only tell you what is labeled, what is the label, because my job, so I'm
Hmm.
licensed, and so my license requires me to give you the label advice only. I can only advise you what the label says, but I can tell you what other people have done, and I will tell you some stories. So I had a lady that I worked for. I actually used to do her house for bedbugs, surprisingly enough, and she bought Crossfire, and she used so she mixed 1 gallon of Crossfire and she treated her house, and then 3 or 4 weeks later she used the same gallon. She just shook it up and reapplied it. She told me that it still killed bugs. Now that's her story. I can't tell you to do that because I have to tell you to follow the label. But what
Okay.
she did
Yeah.
was she was able to reuse the same mix. Now, in my own personal experience, when I have mixed Crossfire in a tank and I have any left over in the bottom of my tank, like maybe a quarter gallon or something left in the bottom of the tank,
Hmm.
if it sits more than a couple days, it has this weird separation effect that it does with the water, and it gets this weird, like milky, like this real thick, watery, not watery, but thick, milky, like gelatinous type goo
Oh,
on the
okay.
bottom of the tank, and it's the Crossfire separate because it's heavier than water, so it separates out and the water kind of floats on top. And I've never been able to reincorporate that into the water. I always have to get rid of it, wash my tank, hose it out, And so I've gotten to, so I only mix the amount that I need to do the job, and I never save anything in the tank because it's gross. And I spend like
Yeah, it
$350 on my
sounds
tanks.
like it.
And it also,
Yeah.
and the first thing that happens is when you pump that tank and it sucks up in that tube, it's sucking that gelatinous goo, and it goes up all up in your screens, and it clogs the hoses, and it's
Ew.
just a mess.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
I only mix what I need to do the job. I use it up, and then it's done. Or I will pour it over into a jug, and I will, I'm not going to leave it in my tank ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because see, that's like the thing I'm thinking of. Like if I do get the gallon sprayer, like what am
I
I
mean,
gonna do with
people
all of this?
have
I
bought,
guess I'm just
so
gonna throw it away.
they make these little graduated type squeezy bottles kind of things that you can get on Amazon. I don't know how to buy a single. They usually sell them in like a carton of like 12. And so you can always take
Hmm.
and look at those. They're in my bedbug supply list. I don't know if you could find them somewhere separate, but you could always just pour the whole 13-ounce bottle over in there, and then you can kind of squeeze it, and it's an ounce at a time. And that way you can kind of measure it out. You're like, oh, if you're only going to
Oh,
mix,
okay.
half a gallon, then you'd only need 6.5 ounces. You just squeeze it 6.5 times, and then you mix it with the rest of the water to equal half a gallon. And so that's one thing you can get, but you got to buy a carton of them. It's like 12 bottles. You only need one, you know.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see if I can look into that.
But you
Thank
can,
you.
yeah. And
And
Jennifer
uh-huh.
from chat actually said that she gave a good idea. You could always use the leftover to treat your cars to prevent them from being traveled around in your car.
Oh, that is a good idea because if I have them at home, who knows? Maybe I have them in the car.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that, do you
you
think
will
that's,
track them into your car on your clothing and your shoes.
see, that's the thing. And I have another question for you, if you don't mind. Um, I think I have like a very mild bed bug situation. Um, but even if I like, 'cause, I looked like under my bed and under my box spring, but whenever I look, I can't seem to find anything. But then next day, I have, bites,
Hmm.
and they're like itchy and they look exactly like a bed bug. And I actually caught maybe one or two, and I think, oh, okay, maybe that was it, and I killed them all. But
Right,
no, I still get bites.
right.
So like, do you think like there might be like hiding in like what do you call those outlets thingies? Are they able to hide in
Yes,
there,
they
and
can.
they like only come out and then go back in there?
Right, that's what they do. So bed bugs will
Okay.
hide inside your um they'll go in and around the outlet covers in your wall. But a lot of times your headboard will butt up against the wall right there where you'll have like an outlet, and they will go into the outlet and they will hide inside the outlet cover. This is one of the reasons that I disagree with doing a heat treatment for bed bugs, is because it's a very common place
Hmm.
for them to hide is in the wall. And if they're in the wall with the insulation, the heat treatment's not going to kill them. And so usually I recommend that people that's why I recommend not to do a heat treatment, because the bed bugs will retreat back into the wall and they won't die there. And if they're used to going back there, they'll come out, they'll bite you, and they'll go in the wall because they feel like it's a safe place to hide, and they'll hide there. They don't always live on the bed. I mean, they're called bed bugs because they bite you in the bed at night, and typically they do live on the bed, either on the mattress or in the box spring, or on your bed frame or something having to do with the bed. But they don't
Yeah.
always
Well,
live on
yeah.
the
Well, there
bed.
actually is. There actually is an outlet right where my bed is. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're in there. But see, that's the other thing. If they're hiding there, would the crossfire still be effective if I spray on my bed? I mean, because I can't really spray it on the outlet
Well, you're
cover. You know what I mean?
supposed to spray Crossfire on the mattress. You spray it on your mattress, on your box spring. You're supposed to spray it on your bed frame, headboard, footboard, bed rails. All those places you're supposed to treat. You're supposed to treat your baseboards around the room, around your window frame, door frames, and cracks and crevices and places that bed bugs will hide. These are the places you're supposed to spray. So if you treat those areas and then lay in your bed, the bed bugs will come out of the wall because they've got to come out to bite you. And when they crawl across the bed, they've crawled across the surface, they're going to die. The pesticide lasts for 30 days. Just because it's wet doesn't mean that, I mean, just because it's dry doesn't mean it's not still, it's going to still kill the bed bugs. It's going to take longer because it's dry, but it will still kill them. Over an entire month, it's going to kill them.
Okay, so they don't have to be on, on a wet surface for them, for it to be effective. Right? It
Right.
can be like
Now,
dry,
if you
like
spray
say,
them with the wet chemical, they're going to die in 5 minutes. But anything after it's dried usually takes a couple hours, and then they're dead. But they're still going to die. I go to people's houses and I spray the beds with the bed bug spray, and I come back a month later and they're just dead all over the floor. And they weren't like that when I was there. I came and they're dead.
Oh, wow.
I'll find them dead under the bed all the time.
Oh, I wish I could see that actually happening.
Yeah, but you need to strip your bed of your sheets and your covers and stuff like that. Don't just treat it with all your covers on. You can wash that. You can launder your sheets. You can take them and throw them in the washing machine and wash them off. Use high heat water, high heat dryer, and you'll kill the bed bugs in your bed sheets. But then treat your mattress.
When you mention Crossfire, that is so effective. It just makes me want to spray it, or it's gonna make me want to spray on top of my sheets.
Oh, don't do that.
The way you're talking about it. No,
yeah,
not a good idea.
No, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Well, you don't want to expose yourself to pesticides, no matter how safe the label says the chemical is. I mean, even Crossfire, it's not. You don't have to wear gloves when applying Crossfire. It's not part of the PPE that's recommended on the label, and so you don't have to wear them. I always wear them. I don't want to expose myself to any more pesticides than I need to. I always wear gloves every time I use a chemical. And so, the label says to not spray on your sheets, not spray on your pillows. Don't do that. Just treat your mattress. And that's all you really need to do. And you will kill bed bugs. That's what I do. I kill them all the time.
Okay. So, all right. I won't do that then, because I really wanted to do that.
No, don't do that.
All right. Well, no, I'm a little weird. Okay, well, thank you so much, Jason, for all your advices once again, and I appreciate your time. Okay.
All right. Well, you have a good night then.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. That was that. Let's see here. Sherry Akers, who has an awesome name, and I have to say this. What time frame do I have to DIY treat my house for bed bugs? Only seen in one bedroom, and it's the only room I slept in. So you're talking about how long do you want to wait to treat once you find the bed bugs? You need to do it right away, because once you start seeing bed bugs, usually it means they've been there for at least a couple months, typically, if you're starting to see them. So I usually recommend treating as soon as possible. Let's see here. Razorblade says she needs to watch a bunch of your videos before she uses Crossfire. Actually, I advise that when people buy a pesticide, not just Crossfire, but any pesticide, if you buy a pesticide, you should always read the label before you buy the chemical. And a lot of people, when you go to IKEA, you buy a couch, you read the instructions after you buy the couch. But with pesticides, you really want to read the label before you buy the pesticide. And if you look at the label and you say, let's look at a label. So, let's see here. I wonder if I can change. I am going to turn off the phone lines for right now, because I don't think I have time for another call anyway, because I'll try not to make it last more than an hour tonight. So I'm actually going to go ahead and turn off Skype for right now. And I'm going to show you guys a label, and this is what I'm going to close with. So if you go to the Crossfire label, like we were looking at before, and you read this label and you see that all these things, this is all the things it does, and you read down and you read about how to mix it. Well, let's look at a more complex label, because Crossfire is really pretty simple. Let's Termidor SC label. Let's look at a Termidor label. I don't think I can get the label there. Let's see. Oh, so this is something that somebody actually came at me on Facebook over the last, not Facebook, I'm sorry, YouTube. So I want to explain something about Termidor. Termidor is for termites. So this is something that was brought up to me on one of my videos recently, on my termite video. And it says, on my video, I talk about how you can get Termidor to treat for termites. Termidor, Taurus, the active ingredient in both of those is fipronil, and it is considered non-restrictive use, which means you can buy it as a person. You know, you just go to the store and buy it or order it on Amazon or whatever, they'll send it to you to kill termites. And so I actually had, this is what, I'm glad I actually looked up the Termidor label because it is a little more advanced than most labels. And so it is actually not for sale for people in Maine, South Carolina, Minnesota, Connecticut, Indiana, New York, and Vermont. And the reason it's not available is because in those states, it's restricted use for only commercial applicators can buy it. Now, any other state in the union, Hawaii, California, you can buy Termidor yourself. So it is actually in Virginia. It is not restricted use. You can buy it. You can kill termites with Termidor. So I wanted to go over that because I got hammered and the guy said, you don't know what you're talking about. Termidor is restricted use. No one can buy it. That's actually not true. So I wanted to just say that real quick and explain that because that is the truth. In Virginia, anyone can buy Termidor. Because they sell it on doyourownpestcontrol.com and you can buy it there too. So anyway, let's go to the label for Termidor, and I want to show you why. So let's say you want to treat your house for termites. We're not going to talk about Crossfire. Crossfire is really easy to understand, but I'm going to show you a Termidor label. So, and the reason it's so complex. So when you go down through and you read the label, and you get to, all right, so personal protective equipment. This is your PPE. This is what you're supposed to wear. Long sleeve shirt, long pants, shoes plus socks, waterproof gloves such as a barrier, laminate, butyl rubber, includes natural rubber blends and laminate. So this is the type of gloves you're supposed to wear when applying Termidor, okay? When working in a non-ventilated space, including but not limited to basements and crawl spaces, all pesticide handlers must wear a dust mist filtering respirator, which includes a NOSH-approved respirator with any N, P, R, HE filter or NOSH-approved number filter 84A, TC84A. So either TC84A or above is what they expect you to wear when working in a non-ventilated space, including but not limited to basements, crawl spaces, or when applying termiticide by rodding or sub-slab injection. All pesticide handlers must wear protective eyewear, so you have to wear goggles, and face shield, safety glasses with front brow temple protection. So because it could splatter back on you. This is what the label requires. Now, if you're reading this label, this is just what they expect you to wear as far as PPE. You got to understand that there is some danger when using this pesticide. All right, you may not want to risk the danger in using this pesticide. So if you read further down, now let's say you're like, oh, I can handle that. That's perfectly fine. Let's do it. Let's get rid of these termites. That's nothing. I can handle that. So you do that. All right. So you scroll down to where you're like, now we got to mix it. Okay. Here we go. This is the more difficult part to understand. So if you want a 0.03% of Termidor SC finished solution, 1 gallon is, so you got 1 gallon of water, 0.4 ounces of Termidor SC. If you're wanting, and this is a 0.03 solution, if you're mixing 25 gallons, you got 24.92 gallons of water and then 10 ounces of Termidor SC. And if you scroll down, so this is nerd stuff. If you guys are done watching, you can go ahead and just click right off the video and everything. I know this is because this is what I'm closing with, this horrible, complex stuff. But let's go. Let's say, oh, well, I don't think 0.03 is going to be safe enough. So, I mean, or strong enough. Let's go all the way down to a 0.0125%. All right. So you got 1 gallon, 1.6 ounces of Termidor to 1 gallon of water. All right. 24.75 gallons of water to 39 ounces of Termador, so 1 quart plus 7 fluid ounces. All right, so this is a lot more advanced when you're talking about mixing for termite control. This is for termite control. It says, fill the tank 1/4 to 1/3 full of water. Note, filling hose must be equipped with an anti-backflow device, or water flow must include an air gap to protect against back siphoning. Start the pump to begin, which means if you're on a well and you just throw your hose in the tank and you start filling up your water tank and you don't have a backflow preventer and then you shut off the water, what happens is it will siphon the termiticide into your well. And now you have a well poisoned with termiticide. So that's why they tell you you have to use an anti-backflow device. So this is just part of the information on why you have to, you know, this is why labels are so advanced. This is why you should really read the label before you buy a pesticide, because this is all the stuff you need to know to be safe and effective when applying a termiticide opposed to applying something like Crossfire. This is why I don't really talk about Termador a lot. I mean, I've got a couple of videos about termite control where you can go and you can learn about termite control. But when you read these labels, you really should read the label before you go and buy a pesticide, because you're going to learn a lot. Like, wow, this is more than I can handle. I think I'm going to leave this to the professional. So it's not just one of these things where you could just mix a gallon and pour it out on the ground and kill termites. That is not the way to do it. It's not the effective way to do it. And when you read the label, you'll realize. So also, I wanted to say, DJ says, no question, however, I just wanted to thank you for your videos. Hit the Yellow Jacket Let's Buy movie. You can find your videos. Oh, I wanted to mention real quick about the Yellow Jackets. So I did have this question before the phone rang earlier about Yellow Jackets and about wasps and hornets and what I do. Go to TikTok. TikTok, you guys can see my hornet videos. I have got hornet videos on TikTok where I kill hornets. I recommend going to TikTok and scrolling through my videos and watching my hornet videos. You will learn how to kill hornets really easily. I wear short sleeves when I go to kill hornets. I only wear gloves because I'm using dust. I don't want to get it all over my hands. Sometimes I'll wear a gas mask if I'm inside, but I dust a nest and I never get stung. So it's not gasoline. It's not wasp and hornet spray. I use dust. I kill them every time. Always, never get stung. So if you want to know how to safely kill hornets and yellow jackets and, you know, all those wonderful bee type things, watch my videos on TikTok. And I think I've got a couple videos actually on, let me see if I've got any on YouTube. Let me see. Let me do this real quick. I know I said I was going to leave, but here I am showing how to kill hornets. Let me go to my videos. There we go. Yellow Jackets the right way.
It's time to help people.
Let's watch this real quick after we watch a Liberty Mutual commercial on YouTube, because they're everywhere. All right. So this is actually a TikTok video that I stitched.
This is one of the things that I've been doing all my life. Watch. This is how a professional takes care of yellow jackets.
Now, there's a yellow jacket hole. See? Dust them and get out of there. That's all. That's how easy it is. That's it. And see those dust-covered bees? See them? Look at him. Look at him fly. He's covered in it. He's going to go back in the hive, and he's going to spread that dust all inside that hive. So that is the effective way to get rid of yellow jackets. Any ground bees. That's the best way to do it. So hopefully that will answer the questions. Hopefully it's been a good night. You guys are great. I really appreciate showing up tonight. Hopefully TikTok didn't get too bored with me. But there's not very many people on TikTok. TikTok, I don't think, is really the platform for, hey, let me teach you about how to kill bugs. But I got my 1,000 people, whatever. And so I thought I would stream tonight. So sorry about all the hiccups. Hopefully by next week I'll have all this ironed out and fixed. I'll see you next week. You guys have a great night. I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Thank you. Don't forget, like the video, follow me,